All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It is May 23rd, is that right? Yeah, May 23rd is today. I'm gonna try to set this here so that sun shining there is gonna be a little weird, but I'll turn up here in just a minute. You guys don't want to look at me anyway, you're just listening to the video, the 5 people that listen to this. Quick video here. I want to talk about the Royals again real quick. They're just kind of floundering right now, about 15 games under 500. They split a doubleheader yesterday with the Cardinals. They won the first game 8-2. They lost the nightcap 10-3. So that's kind of what the Royals do. They win big, then they lose somewhat big, but then they lose a lot of close games too. They don't really know how to win the close games, probably because they don't have a great bullpen, even though they have been getting better performances lately. We're coming up on June here, so this baseball season's closing in on the third way mark. Not quite there yet, but it's getting pretty close. What the Royals need to do now is make some tough decisions about the future here. Look, there are a lot of signs that say that Jorge Lopez is probably not going to be a consistent major league pitcher, at least as a starter. So what I would like to see the Royals do is move Lopez to the bullpen. See if he can discover another 5 miles per hour on his fastball, similar to what Wade Davis did. Might want to try that. So then you're like, well, who do you put in the starting rotation? Well, there's no shortage of candidates who can just go out there and start. But the Royals are just throwing guys out there right now. I mean, Homer Bailey took a loss again. He just got annihilated yesterday. His ERA is closing in on 5.5. Here in another month or so, it's going to be over 6. So, look, Homer Bailey is just not. He had a couple good starts to start the year off, but after that, look, this guy was a non-roster invitee to camp, and he's washed up. He's a washed-up Major League veteran. I know the Royals were trying to see if he could recapture something and they can flip him for a prospect or something down the road. I think it's painfully obvious that's not going to happen. Homer Bailey is a type of pitcher from 5 to 10 years ago. That type of pitcher does not exist in the game today. He does not approach the game the same way. I think the Royals just need to cut bait with Homer Bailey. What I would do if I was Dayton Moore is something very drastic. So, if you follow the Royals minor leagues, you know that that Singer, Lynch, Coar, there's another guy too, I forget his name. There's 4 really good pitchers in our system that are all having tremendous starts to the season in the minor leagues. Single A and double A pitchers. Are these guys ready for the major leagues? Some people will tell you, no, they need their time down there. Excuse me. I'm going to tell you that they are ready. And the reason why is because these guys were all college seniors. They all went 4 years to college. They're already 22, approaching 23 years old. This whole adage that you have to be in the minor leagues for 3 or 4 seasons after going to college is just ridiculous. You're going to bring these guys up when they can't get any better. They're going to bring them up to the height of their potential, and then they got to figure out how to get big league pitchers out. I don't subscribe to that theory. I think what the Royals need to do, and especially now that it's after the deadline where you won't affect a year of service from an arbitration and a free agency standpoint, the Kansas City Royals, they need to call these pitchers up now. They need to put them on the 40-man roster. They need to cut dead weight off the 40-man. You can do that in lots of different ways. I'm not looking at the 40-man roster right here in front of me, obviously, as I'm heading into the office. But you can, at the very least, you can make room for Singer and Lynch and Coar or Kozar. Well, I think it's Coar. You can make room for these guys. And you can bring them up now. And they'll say, well, you can't bring them up now because you'll start their service time. And they say, well, if you bring them up next year at this time, then you buy an extra year. Look, it's time for them to come up. I mean, they're going to be approaching 24 years old next year. You're getting dangerously out of prospect status when you get there. The Royals need to make a decision now. If they bring them up now, you still have them for 6 years after this year. And with the Royals offense the way it is, that it is somewhat dynamic, and you just need to add a few pieces to it to make it one of the better offenses in baseball. And I think when you take Maldonado out of the lineup and you put Perez back in there, that's a much better lineup for the Royals. So what do they do? The offense is pretty much there. Now, you're going to have to replace Gordon. So we'll make another video talk about that. But let's go back to the pitching real quick. If I was the Royals, so the Royals starting rotation right now consists of Junis, Keller, Duffy, Lopez, and Bailey. Look, Bailey needs to go. Lopez, let's send him to the bullpen. There's 2 spots there. So you got Duffy, Keller, and Junis. Keller has not been great this year. But you know what? He was fantastic last year. It's his second year. This always happens to pitchers. The league adjusts to them. And that's why I think you should call Singer and Singer and company up now, because they'll come up and do well probably. And then the league will adjust to them and they'll have to readjust. And by the time they readjust, that's when the Royals are probably, their hitters are fully mature. That's when they're probably going to be ready to honestly be in a position to win another World Series, or at least compete for a World Series title again. Could they get to the playoffs next year if all those young pitchers come up and do well? You know, a la Saberhagen, Jackson, Gubazon, 1985? Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely in play. I'm not going to count on it, but it's absolutely in play. So, anyway, I'm pulling into the office here. That's what I want the Royals to do. I want them to bring these guys up. I think it's time. You're not going to do them any damage to their development. It's time to get rid of some of the weight that is plaguing this roster, such as Jorge Lopez and Homer Bailey. And it's time to, at the very least, call up Singer and Lynch. They say, well, can they come up from A-ball and do it? Yes, they can. They're ready. You saw how well they pitched it competitively in college. You saw what Brandon Finnegan did with the Royals in 2014. Now, obviously, he hasn't done anything since then with the Reds, but you saw that he was ready to get big league hitters out immediately, and so will these guys. It's time to make the decision. It's time to call them up. It's time to start the next wave. Let's start it now. Let's start getting them acclimated to Major League batting, and so that maybe they can take a step back next year, let the league readjust to them, and then they can make their adjustments. So then in 2021, the Royals are ready to go back to the playoffs. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice day.